Hi, you don't know who I am, probably, but I have something interesting, useful, that I would like to share with you today. And in order to explain what it is, I needed a neutral place to start, something like a blank canvas. So I created this. That was a bunch of D5s, a bunch of Ds and As, also known as power chords. The reason they are called D5s is because D is the root, the 1, and A is the 5th. And this would be true for both minor and major, because a power chord is neither nor. It's unfinished in that sense. To turn the chord into major or minor, we need a major third or a minor third, respectively. And this brings me to today's topic, intervals. Because without a third, we can't really know if our chord is major or minor. Like I said, it's neutral. So a power chord can serve as the perfect backdrop for demonstrating the power of intervals. Now, since you clicked this video, you're probably aware that the major scale is the basis for most of our terminology, and the reference point for any of our 12 intervals. For example, when we say that we sharpen or flatten a note, that is in reference to the major scale. Anyway, here's D major. The important thing to understand here is that this specific combination of intervals have a distinct sound and feel to them. If we stick to the intervals of the major scale and focus our composition around the tonic chord, the D major, our music will have a specific kind of sound. And in my opinion, not a very interesting one. Especially not for the kind of music I like to make, which tends to be a bit darker and a bit heavier. I mean, listen to this. There's no spice there, there's no intrigue, and you can say that's because what I played wasn't very interesting, and that's fair enough, I agree, but the reason I played such a simple descending thing with nothing else going on is because I want to demonstrate the power of intervals. Because if I play the exact same thing, but change one of the intervals from a 4 to a sharp 4, I get Lydian, and things start to sound more interesting. Let's listen. This is why knowing and remembering intervals is huge, because it unlocks all kinds of scales and modes, and with them a huge range of expression and emotion, pretty much on demand. So for our next example, let's keep everything the same except for one interval again. Let's turn our major third into a minor third. Let's listen. So by changing that one note in this specific example, we managed to go from Lydian to Hungarian Minor, one of my favorite scales. Should we keep going? How about we go back to our regular 4 again, instead of that sharp 4 we've been having so much fun with, but keep everything else the same. Let's try that. This is fun. Are you having fun? Hopefully you see the potential here. I mean, I'm just playing the same kind of descending thing over and over the same power chord again and again, yet the feel of each example is so different, at least in my opinion. I mean, imagine adding harmonies to this, proper melodies, writing proper melodies and presenting it in a context that makes sense. Now, this video just wouldn't be complete without another one of my favorite modes, especially for dark and heavy compositions, Phrygian. And here we actually have to change 2 of the intervals compared to that last one. We have to flatten our 7 and our 2, because Phrygian is exactly like regular minor, but with a flat 2 instead. So it's very easy to remember. And actually you can say the same about something like Dorian. That's also just like minor, but with a natural 6th instead of a flat 1. Or Harmonic Minor, same thing. Just like minor, but with a natural 7 instead of a flat 7. Or something like Lydian. Just like major, but with a sharp 4 instead of a natural 4. Or Lydian. Just like major, but with a flat 7 instead of a natural 1. See? So many sounds at your fingertips, just by remembering intervals and the power that they hold. Anyway, let's listen to Phrygian. Isn't it amazing how changing a note or a few notes in a melody can dramatically change the feel of everything, even when the chords behind it are exactly the same. So spending a little bit of time memorizing the intervals and their associated scales and sounds will go a long way. It's like I always say, having this kind of music theory memorized is like having a musical vocabulary to draw from instantly. A shortcut to sounds, a starting point, call it what you will. All I know is that knowing the names of scales and their intervals has transformed my songwriting. Actually, let me rephrase that. It is the foundation upon which my entire songwriting trajectory was built. Not sure you build trajectories per se. I think they're more the aftermath of an earlier event, but you get what I'm trying to say. And with that, I shall speak no more. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.